overcrowding in professions. And it's worrying the dads who are educating lads. They're not labouring under any false impressions. And that they'll easily get a job where a chap can earn a bob. Here at least you will agree is an excellent suggestion to answer this very vexatious question. Where can they go when our sons leave school? Why, the Navy, or the Army, or the police. Being practical and tactical and learning to keep cool, whether we're at war or we're at peace. Once they've joined the service, they'll never want to chuck it. By the time they're 60, they'll be big men if they've stuck it. But they're bound to get promoted when the old ones kick the bucket. In the Navy, or the Army, or the police. Though we haven't any enemies who hate us, we must be ready, must we not? Though I don't quite know for what. When India has got dominion status, we won't be wanted there, they say. On the other hand, we may. But the police and army here at home can show their paces, and the Navy's always welcome at our seaside places. Where can they go when our sons leave school? In the Navy, or the Army, or the police. And being practical and tactical and learning to keep cool, whether we're at war or we're at peace. A marriage in the service is a marriage of evasion, so they can marry Hottentots, albinos or Eurasians. They only have to see their wives on very rare occasions. In the Navy, or the Army, or the police. Discipline would do them good, where civil life would wreck them. If someone should attack us, then these services will check them. So they guard our seas, our colonies, and Kennington, and Peckham. In the Navy, the Army, and the police. If later governments upon these services should frown, sir, authorities should act some more in some way let them down, sir. They can always get a good job as a BBC announcer, ex-Navy, or ex-Army, or ex-police. They'll take themselves out walking, that's if they've got pretty faces, all among the country lanes, military faces, and they'll show them their tattoo marks in pretty shady places. In the Army, and the Navy, and the police. Ladies like to watch them drill after a good luncheon. Watch their favourite boyfriend when they're sure to have a crunch on, whipping out his telescope, his bayonet, or his truncheon. The Navy, the Army, the police. Where can they go when our sons leave school? The Navy, or the Army, or the police. Being practical and tactical and learning to keep cool, whether we're at war or we're at peace. They're blunt, direct, to the point, as every girl confesses. They say exactly what they want, and don't encourage guesses. They get a lot of snubs, of course, but usually successes. In the Navy, on the Army, on the police. Navy?
Aye, aye, sir.
Army?
Yes, sir.
Police?
Move along there.
Attention. Dismissed. Nice boys, all of them. On the other side of this record, I've said what we want to do with our sons. It's strange it may seem, some of us haven't got any. Only daughters. What about them? And if they're pretty, someone will marry them. If they're intelligent, they'll marry someone. If they're both, they'll have just a darn good time for a bad time darning. What if they're neither? They're just sweet, plain girls. Do you ever think about them? You may be sympathetic to the poor and the pathetic. Spinsters, you flout them. Your lip just curls. You can do without them. Sweet, plain girls. Have a little pity on the girl who isn't pretty, who isn't very witty. You'll infer that she's no one's mother, she's no one's wife. You must admit she's bound to have a rotten sort of life. She's no one to buy dresses for, or naughty little hats. She visits her relations in their houses or their flats. She's only just an auntie to other people's brats. So have a little pity on her. Bold or shy, they commit no awful follies, and their life's so unromantic they get very nearly frantic. Lone walks their solace, so wet or dry, with their neatly folded brollies they walk by. Have a little pity on the girl who isn't pretty and who isn't very witty. You're in for, she's no one's mother, she's no one's wife. You must admit she's bound to have a rotten sort of life. When her sisters fall in love, she helps them to decide. When they do get married, they want her by their side. She's just a chronic bridesmaid who'll never be a bride. So have a little pity on her. A spinster went to a glove shop to buy a pair of gloves, a lonely, patient creature who'd not experienced loves. They showed her dough and buckskin, chamois leather, suede, knitted gloves and crochet gloves and silken ones with braid. They showed her gloves with gauntlets of every skin and hide, with laces or zip fasteners or with buttons up the side. Box after box they showed her, lifted off their lids. She murmured, "I'm a spinster. What I want are kids." She never goes to parties. There's nowhere she can go. Except, of course, at Christmas time. That's why she loves it so. But the only time she gets a kiss is when there's mistletoe. So have a little pity on her. She serves food oh so daintily. Her cooking is sublime. She keeps her place so tidily. There's not a trace of grime. There's no one ever visits her. It's just a waste of time. So have a little pity on her. Punctually at 9:30, she climbs her bedroom stair. Before she turns her light out, she says the Maiden's Prayer. Then quickly looks beneath the bed, but no one's ever there. So have a little pity on her. She wanders through the daytime, the lonely little elf. Mostly though at night time that she feels she's on the shelf. She sometimes says turn over, but it's only to herself. So have a little pity on the girl who isn't pretty.